Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Vasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram Ram Hare Hare. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 29 and verse number 61. Okay, thank you so much, Hare Krishna. So, verse number 61, Canto 4, Chapter 29. Shayanam imam utsrijya Shayanam imam utsrijya Swasantam Purusho Yatha Karmatmani Ahitam Bhungte Tadrisheni Tarinachva. Hare Krishna. Shayanam imam utsrijya Swasantam Purusho Yatha Karmatmanya Hitam Bhungte Tadrisheni Tarena Va. Shayanam imam utsrijya Swasantam Purusho Yatha Karmatman Yahitam Bhungte Tadrisheni Tarena Va. Shayanam imam utsrijya Swasantam Purusho Yatha Karmatmanya Hitam Bhungte Tadrisheni Tarena Va. Hare Krishna. Devotees, you can recite this
Hare
verse.
Krishna Prabhu Dandot Pranam.
Dandot Pranam Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Shayanam imam usrijya Sasantam Purusho Yata Karmatmani Aitam Bhungte Tat Srena Tarena Va. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, I am trying.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Shayanamimamutssrijya Shashantam Purusho Yatha Karmatmanyahitam Bhungte Tadrish Shenena Tarena Va. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu.
Dandavat Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji.
Shayanamimam utsrijya Shwasantam Purusho Yatha Karmatmanyahitam Bhungte Tadrishene Tarena Va. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Prabhu Dandavat Pranam. I am also
Hare
trying.
Krishna Mataji. Dandot Pranam. Hare Krishna.
Shayanam imam utsrijya Shashantam Purusho Yatha Karmatmanyahitam Bhungte Tadrishena Tarena Va. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Someone can read the synonyms.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. So, you're reading the synonyms, Mataji? Naika Mataji?
Yes, Prabhuji.
Okay.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandot Pranam.
Hare Krishna Mataji. Dandot Pranam.
Prabhuji, it's 60.
Yeah, you can read the translation. Someone can read the
61.
synonym.
Text 61.
61. Yeah. Someone can start and then you can look for the verse and then it's 61. Someone can do the synonyms and Naika Mataji, you can read the translation. Yes,
Can I
someone can.
read the slok, Prabhuji? Just one minute.
Okay, you can.
Thank you, Prabhuji.
Hare Krishna.
Tayanam imam utsrijya श्वासन्तं पुरुषो यथा कर्मात्मन्याहितं न भुङ्क्ते तदृशेनेतरेण वा. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna Mataji.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. I'll try.
Okay, Mataji.
Sayanam himam utsute. Sound not coming, Mataji. Something wrong.
Hare Krishna Mataji. We can't hear you.
Santam Purusho. Something
Yeah, you can start again and the sound is okay. Now you can read again.
wrong. Maybe the
Yeah.
network.
Yeah, still not okay, Mataji. So, yeah, someone else? Okay, so someone can read the synonyms.
Here.
Hare Krishna Prabhu, shall I read the synonyms, please?
Yes, yes, Mataji, please. Yeah.
Shayanam, lying down on a bed. Imam, this body. Utsrijya, after giving up. Shwasantam, breathing. Purushaha, the living entity. Yatha, as. Karma, activity. Atmani, in the mind. Ahitam, executed. Bhunkte, enjoys. Tadrishena, by a similar body. Itarena, by a different body. Va, or. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Mataji. Hare Krishna. Thank you. And
Hare Krishna, Prabhuji. I read the translation.
okay, Mataji.
Translation by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. The living entity, while dreaming, gives up the actual living body. Through the activities of his mind intelligence, he acts in another body, either as God or as dog. After giving up this gross body, the living entity enters either in an animal body or a demigod's body, on this planet or on another planet. He thus enjoys the results of the actions of his past life. Thank you, Prabhuji. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Mataji. And then purport, someone can read the whole purport or just maybe just a few sentences at a time.
Hare
Maybe
Krishna Prabhu, can I read this?
Yes, yes, Prabhuji, please, yeah.
Thank you very much, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Yeah.
Although the root of distress and happiness is the mind, intelligence, and ego, a gross body is still required, an instrument for enjoyment. The gross body may change, but the subtle body continues to act. Unless the living entity gets another gross body, he will have to continue in a subtle body or ghostly body. One becomes a ghost when the subtle body acts without the help of sorry, without the help of instrumental gross body. As stated in this verse, Shayanam imam utsrija shwasantam. The gross body may lie on on a bed and rest, and even though the machinery of the gross body is working, the living entity may go into a dream and return to gross body. When he returns to the body, he forgets his dreams. Similarly, when the living entity takes on another gross body, he forgets the present gross body. The conclusion is that the subtle body, mind, intelligence, and ego creates an atmosphere with desires and ambitions that the living entity enjoys in the subtle body. Actually, the living entity is in the subtle body. Even though the gross body apparently changes and even though he inhabits the gross body on various planets, all the activities performed by the living entity in the subtle body are called illusory because They are not permanent. Liberation means getting out of the clutches of the subtle body. Liberation from the gross body simply involves the transmigration of soul from one gross body to another. When the mind is educated in Krishna consciousness or higher consciousness in the mode of goodness, one is transferred either to upper heavenly planets or to the spiritual world, the Vaikunta planets. One therefore has to change his consciousness by cultivating knowledge received from Vedic instructions from the Supreme Personality of Godhead through the disciplic succession. If we train the subtle body in this life by always thinking about Krishna, we will transfer to Krishna Loka after living the gross body. This is confirmed by Supreme Personality of Godhead. Janma karma chame divyam evam yoveti tatvataha tyaktva deham punarjanma naitimam eti so Arjuna. One who knows the transcendental nature of my appearance and activities does not, upon leaving the body, take his birth again in this material world, but attains my eternal abode, O Arjuna. Bhagavad Gita 4.9. Thus, the change of gross body is not very important, but the change of subtle body is important. The Krishna consciousness movement is educating people to enlighten the subtle body. The perfect example in this regard is Ambarish Maharaj, who always engaged his mind on the lotus feet of Lord Krishna. Savai mana Krishna padara vindayo. Similarly, in this life, we should always fix our mind on the lotus feet of Krishna, who is present in his Archa Vigraha, the incarnation of the deity in the temple. We should also always engage in his worship. If we engage our speech in describing the activities of the Lord and our ears in hearing about his pastime, and if we follow the regulative principles to keep the mind intact for advancing in Krishna consciousness, we shall certainly be elevated to spiritual platform. Then, at the time of death, the mind, intelligence, and ego will no longer be materially contaminated. The living entity is present, and the mind, intelligence, ego are also present. When the mind, intelligence, and ego are purified, all the active senses of the living entity become spiritual. Thus, the living entity attains his Satchidananda form. The Supreme Lord is always in his Satchidananda form, but the living entity, although part and parcel of the Lord, becomes materially contaminated when he desires to come to material world for the material enjoyment. The prescription for returning home back to Godhead is given by the Lord himself in Bhagavad Gita 9.34. Manmana bhava madbhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evaishasi yukta vaivam atmanam matparayanaha. Always think of me and become my devotee. Worship me and offer your homage unto me. Being completely absorbed in me, surely you will come to me. Thank you, Prabhuji.
Thank you, Hare Krishna, Guru. Thank you, thank you,
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna. Thank you, thank you. Yes, very nice verse actually. So here we have Naraji speaking. So again, this Naraj is giving some information about how the body changes. We know that in the Bhagavad Gita, Lord Krishna says, Dehinosmin yatha dehe, Kaumaram yovanam jara, tata dehantara praptir, dhiras tatrana muhyati. So the body is actually continuously changing. And that body which is continuously changing is called
Dehi.
Cross body.
Cross
the
body.
gross body that Lord Krishna is talking about. That, and so there's a Atma, and then there's gross body, of course. And there is also another body within the gross body, and that body is called
Subtle body.
Subtle body.
subtle body. Yeah. And subtle body is that which is like a template for the gross body.
Mm.
So whatever we have, whatever subtle body we have, that actually determines our gross body. So we see that, for example, in the case of Bharat Maharaj, he was the king. So he was a king, and then he had a certain kind of subtle body, of course, as a king, and of course a gross body as well. He was a Kshatriya, and then he went to the forest, and then he was, of course, he went to perform severe austerities, and there what he did, he was uh, continuously saving the deer, and then because he was continuously saving the deer, then his subtle body actually, what happened to his subtle body?
Recorded it.
Yeah, recorded all these dealings with the deer. So all the dealings with the deer he had, what he was doing to the deer, feeding the deer, touching the deer, embracing the deer, putting the deer on his chest and walking with the deer. All this were actually stored in his subtle body. And that actually became the cause of his
Next
uh,
one.
gross body. When he got the next body, then the next body was that of a deer. Similarly, when we see this the story mentioned about Puranjani, all it's like the consciousness, like in the mind you have the subtle body, all this always thinking about. If someone is always thinking about a woman, then in the next life, let's say someone is a man in the current body and continuously thinks about some woman or women, then they will probably get a body of a woman. And so we have the gross body, and gross body is always changing. In every second, the gross body is changing. And also our subtle body is also changing. Isn't it true? Subtle body comprises of
Mind, intelligence, and false ego.
mind, intelligence, and false ego. So all the different thoughts, coming, how we interact with the world, and according to that, the subtle body is also changing. Gross body, of course, because every moment the body is actually changing. We know it's just mentioned in the scriptures that it's just like the flames in a fire. The flame we can see the flame, and the flame is continuously changing. Isn't it true?
Yeah.
It's not the same flame. When every moment you see the flame, it's a different flame. So just like the flame is continuously changing, our gross body is continuously changing. And based on our thoughts, actions, the subtle body is also changing. So now, Naradji is giving very wonderful, very nice instructions to Prachin Barhi. He's talking about how we can have experience of changing the body. In the same, of course, in the same body, another experience. Of course, we know that modern science also has proved that all the cells of the body actually change, and in I think 7 years we have a completely new body. Isn't it true?
Yes, Prabhu.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the complete change of body, complete change of a gross body. You change one gross body and accept another gross body. So here, Naradji is saying, previously Naradji has said that that whatever karma we do in this life, whatever we do in this life, you have to suffer the results in the
Next life.
next life. And those results are stored. Everything, even in the 15th chapter, Lord Krishna is saying that, what does Lord Krishna say? In the 15th chapter, Shotram Chakru Parshanam Cha Rasanam Granameva Cha Adhishtayam Manaschayam Vishayanupasevate. And before that, there's another verse, just like it says that the mind is carrying all those impressions into another body, just like the
Aroma.
wind,
The aroma of the air.
wind carries different aromas.
Aroma in the air.
Mm. So Chotram Chakshu Sparshanam Cha Rasanam Granameva Cha Adhishtaya Manascha Visayanupasevate. So and then according to those according to the subtle body, one gets Chotram, Chakshu, Sparshanam, Rasanam, Granam, all these things are mentioned. So you know what those are? Chotram means?
So means hearing.
Hearing.
Yeah.
Knowledge
The
acquiring
ear.
senses.
We get a different kind of ear. So based on our what is in our subtle body. Chotram, Chakshu. Chakshu means
Eyes.
eyes. You get certain kinds of eyes depending on what you like seeing. So if you like seeing too far away, then you get the eyes of a eagle.
Vulture.
Eagle can see very far away. Isn't it true?
Yes.
Chakshu. It depends what you want to see. Some people have, people have very good eyes which can see even very, very small things. So sparshanam means just kind of different kind of skin, and nose and all these different, based on what we have in our subtle body. The subtle body actually determines what kind of nose we have, what kind of ears we have, what kind of tongue we have, what kind of eyes we have. All these things that's given in the 15th chapter of Bhagavad Gita. So here, Naradji is saying, Shayanam imam utsrijya. This is talking about how even every day we have this experience of changing the body, or at least forgetting the body. Utsrijya means actually giving up, but still alive, but we have experience of giving up a body. Of course, only if we are dreaming. If you are dreaming, because you have Jagrit avastha. Jagrit means you are
Awaken.
awake. You are awake, and that's Jagrit, and that means the gross body is active, and the subtle body is also active. Isn't it true? When you are awake.
Yes, Prabhu.
Yeah, and when you are sleeping, that's called swapna avastha. And then when you are sleeping, then you are dreaming. Is it called REM sleep when you're dreaming?
No, Prabhuji. Yes, Prabhu. Yes. Random eye. Rapid eye
Rapid eye
movement.
movement?
Yes,
Yeah.
Prabhu. There's got
So
Swapna Avastha.
yeah, swapna avastha. So you are sleeping, and what you are dreaming. Of course, no one knows that you are dreaming. Only you know that you are dreaming, right? And at that time, the subtle body is active. Isn't it true?
Yes.
The subtle body is active. That is actually when you have the swapna avastha. or dreaming state. And the physical body is, of course, the gross body is
Inactive.
inactive. And then we also have deep sleep, sushupti. Deep sleep means you don't have any dream, you don't have any, the gross body is not active, subtle body is not active. So there are different states of experience. So when one is sleeping, so here, shayanam means imamusrija. Shayanam means when one is sleeping, one is lying on the bed. When one is lying on the bed, imam utsrija. Imam means, what is he talking about?
His body,
Gross body.
Gross body. We don't actually die. You don't fully give up the body, but you forget that body. When one is sleeping, and swasantam purusham yatha. Swasantam here is actually means that the person is still breathing. This person has not
died.
Swasantam purusha, living entity, yatha means is. Just like when you are dreaming, you forget the gross body. Isn't it true?
Yes.
We forget the gross body, and you are so Swasanta means breathing, means you are still alive on a bed, shayanam, sleeping, alive, breathing, and dreaming. Dreaming, while you're dreaming, it has to be understood. It's dreaming there because imam usrija, you are forgetting the gross body, or you have you have no knowledge about the gross body. When a person is dreaming, does that person know who he is? I'm a lawyer, or I'm a medical practitioner, or I'm the prime minister of a particular country. When one person is dreaming, does he know his
No.
actual
State of the body.
who that person is actually in real life?
No.
What his designation is? No. He forgets about all those things when he's dreaming. Sometimes someone is dreaming. It is mentioned that a beggar sometimes dreams. Is one in one of the verses also. The beggar is thinking that I have become a very, very wealthy person in a dream. He's a beggar, but he's dreaming that he is a very, very wealthy person. He is having new car. He's having a very huge house. He has got a big business, and so many people are working for him. He has got so many servants. A beggar. And in the dream, he is actually a very wealthy person. So, and then another person is dreaming. He is a king or some Lord Indra. He's dreaming that he has become a very, very poor person. He's a poor person. He's sitting on the street begging. So when both of them wake up, has the rich person lost anything, or has the beggar gained anything?
No.
No, because that's only dream. That's only dreaming at night. And there's also dreaming at the day. Daydreaming means during the day, people are actually in some way they also have a life, like they are gaining so much wealth, so much money, and so much dealings they have. But when they die, is there any gain for them or any loss for them when they die?
No.
No. There's no gain, no loss, basically. It's only some bank balance and increased, or someone has lost some money, but nothing to do with the Atma, nothing to do with the soul. So, but the thing is, through dreaming, we can have experience of what the subtle body is, what the gross body is. We can understand. So when we have the dreaming state, swasant, when one is sleeping, breathing, and dreaming. So, and then in the dream, it's mentioned that karma atmani ahitam bhunkte. So the karma, so that in the dream, a person is performing different karma. Isn't it true?
Yes.
He's performing different karma, like he's doing a business, he's looking after people, and sometimes he's suffering, sometimes he's enjoying. So in the karma, in the dream. So which means he has forgotten the current gross body, or has given up the gross body current, and he is in the dream. He has got experience of accepting another
Body.
Another body.
Another body has got experience of accepting another body and using this body and having enjoyment or suffering in that body. So that's so here Naraji is saying that Prabhupada also writes that with the mind and intelligence, he acts in another body. So in another body, which means in the dream. So sometimes someone may think that he's some Lord Indra, or sometimes one may think that in the dream that I am an animal. Someone may have experience of being an animal in the dream. Some may be having experience of flying in the dream like a bird. So I'm sure all of us have some experience. Have you all had some experience of
Yes.
dreams where you are actually not who actually you are,
No.
but you are someone else
Yes, someone else.
in the dream?
Yes, not in the real.
Yeah. So not in you're not seeing yourself as a person with the same current body, but you are having a different body in the dream. So the Prabhupada writes, as a god or a dog. God means actually demigod or a dog. And then, so similarly, after giving up the current body, similarly, just like we change, give up one body and accept another body in the dream, similarly, one actually gives up one body, and it could be, body of an animal or human, gives up that body and accepts another body to enjoy or suffer the results of the karma. And that karma, the karma that we do, everything that we do, those are all, how does it go from one body to the other?
Because it is already recorded
Recorded where?
in the subtle body.
Correct, the subtle body. So it is all recorded in the subtle body. So, which means the subtle body is very important, isn't it true?
Yes, Swami.
It's very, very important, because the subtle body actually determines our
Next life.
next life, the gross body that we are going to accept. So the best way to get freedom from the cycle of birth and death. As Prabhupada says, liberation from the gross body is not that important. Liberation or getting freedom from the gross body is not that important thing. What is important is,
To
Liberation
get relief
the
from the
subtle
shuttle
body.
body, Prabhu.
yeah, important is, the freedom from the subtle body. All those impressions or whatever is stored in the subtle body, we need to actually
Wipe
change
it out.
it, wipe it out. We have to have a program which says, delete all,
Yeah.
delete it. And delete that one and put new things. What do we need to put?
AC, Krishna consciousness.
Yeah, we have to put Hare Krishna, 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 Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. We have to put Shravanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu, Smaranam, Pada Sevanam, Archanam, Vandanam, Dasyam, Sakyam Atma Nivedanam, Iti Pumsarpita Vishnu, Bhakti's Chennava Lakshana. So we put all this Shravan, Kirtan, all these things which are to do with the Lord. Thinking, that's why Prabhupada says that we can transfer the consciousness, thinking about the Lord, always remembering the Lord. And Janma, Prabhupada quotes a verse, Prabhupada quotes, Janma karma cha me divyam evam vivati tatvata tyaktva deham punar janma naiti mahameti sorjana. What is so important in that verse? What actually is important in that verse?
It means that if we learn Krishna properly, or if we know about Krishna, the tattva, then we have not to take birth again in this material world, or we can get free from this material
Yes.
attachment altogether.
Yeah, Janma karma cha me divyam, hearing about the Lord's pastimes and knowing the tattva, that it is divyam. Janma karma cha me divyam evam yoveti tattvata. Then such a person, when he gives up the body, actually doesn't have to tyaktva deham. Tyaktva deham is, we have to give up the body. Just like in the dream, one is actually forgetting the body and actually is having experience of a new body already. This is a excellent experience that Lord is giving us. Some people may say that I don't believe in change of body, I don't believe in reincarnation. But we can see this, we all experience it in this current body. Of course, the body is always changing. The body that we had when we were a child is different from the body that we have now. Isn't it true?
Yes.
As a child, even the number of bones is different. Isn't it true?
Yes, Prabhu.
The number of bones in a child, the children have, little infants have more bones than grown-up humans. Isn't it true?
Yes, Prabhu.
And so the body is changing. We have got a completely different body in this life, actually. But then we also have this experience, and the dream experience, which actually is giving us experience of change in body when we are sleeping and having a dream. And so tyaktva deham, everyone has to give up the body. There's no doubt about it. But Lord Krishna is saying, if one understands my janma and karma, then they will not have to take a birth again. They will come to me. And then Prabhupada also says that it's very important. The change of subtle body is very important. We have to change our subtle body. That's why Lord Krishna is saying, Sarva guhyatayam tamam bhuya Shrinu me paramam vacha, ishtosi medrinamiti tato vakshami te hitam. And he says, of course, there at that, in the uh, in the 18th chapter, and then he says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evasasi satyam te prati jane priyosi me. There he says that in the 18th chapter. In the 9th chapter, he says, Man mana bhava mad bhakto madhyaji mam namaskuru mam evasasi yuktvaim matmana matpara.
Matparaya.
So it's such an important verse that Lord Krishna actually, most of the, it's almost the earlier part of the verse is the same in both chapter 9 and chapter 18. So that is how important the mind is, because the mind is a very important part of the subtle body. Because with the mind we are thinking, we are feeling, we are willing. So mind is very, very important. And Lord Krishna is saying always, think of me. How do you think? You think with the mind, isn't it?
Yeah, Prabhuji. By thinking the
Yeah.
pastimes of the Lord.
Yeah. Thinking of the past times, meditating on the past times. And if you contemplate, if you think about the Vishaya, Dhyato Vishayan Pumsa, Sangasteshu Pajayate, Sanjayate Kama, Kamat Krodho Vijayate, Krodad Bhavati Samoha, Samohat Smriti Vibrama, Smriti Brahmsat Buddhinasho, Buddhinashat
Pranashrati.
Pranashyati. So there is a choice whether we want to think about sense enjoyment or you want to think about Krishna. Sense enjoyment will bring about only
Miseries.
miseries and destruction. Pranashyati. Nashyati pranashyati. But if we think about Krishna, if you always remember Krishna, we know that remembering Krishna, we are actually constantly changing that subtle body, which is actually the cause of our next body. The subtle body determines our next body. It is like a template for the next gross body. So, and we see how many times Lord Krishna is talking about the mind. The mind is chanchal. Chanchalam imana Krishna pramati balavadridam tasyaham nigraham manye vayuriva sudushkaram. Who's saying this?
Arjuna is telling us.
Arjuna is saying this. So that is the nature of the mind. It's chanchal. But when you fix it on Krishna, it becomes steady. Right? It becomes agitated, pramati. But if you fix on Krishna,
then also it become detached also from material things and get fixed on Krishna.
That agitation will not be there.
Yeah.
Chanchalamimana Krishna pramati balavat. Balavat means it's very powerful. It takes us away from Krishna. It takes us towards the sense enjoyment. You will say, okay, I want to enjoy this thing. It's so powerful. But then when it is controlled and it's fixed on Krishna, then you will only do it. Mind becomes fully under the control of the person.
Other person.
Yeah.
It becomes a friend.
It becomes a friend.
Yeah.
So as Lord Krishna says here, Udared Atmanatmanam Natmanam Avsadet Atmaiva Atmano Bandhur Atmaiva
Ripuratma.
Ripuratmana. So mind is the best friend, mind is the worst enemy. But do we want to live with the best friend or with the worst enemy? The choice is ours.
Yeah.
Do you want to live with the worst enemy or the best friend? And the thing is, mind is something that you cannot actually avoid. You have to be. You have to be with the mind. Mind is always with you. So the choice is to be with the best friend or with the worst enemy. And the control mind is always the best friend. And the control mind is the mind which is always engaged in
Krishna
Krishna
consciousness.
consciousness.
Krishna consciousness. So, yes, Prabhupada is saying, and there is also many verses to do with the mind. For example, mana eva mana adat swamayi buddhim niveshaya. Nivasishyasi mayeva athaurdam na samshaya. Lord Krishna is saying, fix your mind on me, fix your intelligence on me. Right? And Lord Krishna is saying all these things, and even Lord Krishna is saying, he of course first talks about what one should remember. He says at the time of death, what happens? What does he say? Yam yam vapi smaran bhavam त्याज्यत्यन्ते कलेवरम तम तमिति कौन्तेय सदा तद्भाव भावितः अंतकाल च मामेव स्मरण मुक्त्वा कलेवरम या प्रयाति समद्भावम याति नास्त्यत्र संशयः.
Samshaya.
And then after that he says tasmat sarvesu kalesu
Mamanusmara jitta cha.
ma manusmara yudecha mayar pita manobuddhir. Mayar pita manobuddhir. You offer your mind and intelligence to give it to me.
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 Ma
Why
Buddha
does the Lord Krishna say all these things? All these things will change our subtle body.
Yeah.
All these things are for our subtle body, so that we have a subtle body which will only give us freedom from the cycle of
birth and death.
birth and death. A subtle body which will actually be that for which this human body has been given. Right? This human body has been given for a purpose. And the purpose is what?
To serve the Lord.
To serve the Lord. And so when we change our subtle body, as Lord Krishna is saying in the Bhagavad Gita, then we are actually using this body for the purpose for which it has been given to us. Yeah, so this Prabhupada has written a very nice long purport, and we can learn so many things. So, but the important thing is, so what is the important thing? What are some of the important things that we learn here? What do we learn from the West?
Really to control the shuttle body, so that ultimately that we do not have to get another gross body again. By controlling the shuttle body, we can do that.
Yeah.
And in this
Very
way, we
nice.
can get rid of the cycle of birth and death.
Yes, very nice. We need to change our subtle body.
Yeah.
In Krishna consciousness.
Change our subtle body, so that rather than having all the material desires, sensual desires, it only has desire to serve Krishna and anything to do with Krishna and Krishna conscious subtle body. Thank you. Anything else?
Whatever activities we do in a real state, in our state of activity, that all being recorded in the subtle body, and that determines the next body.
Yes, the sanskar is formed. It's all there in the subtle body, and then that's what actually in the next body when we enter, those things actually we perform different activities according to that subtle body. Yes, so it just keeps going and going and going from one body to the other. Thank you, bro. Anything else?
Subtle body is template of gross body.
Yes, subtle body is a template for the gross body. So whatever we have in our gross subtle body, that determines our next gross body, as we could see in the case of Bharat Maharaj. Thank you, Mataji. Anything else?
Now, how to purify this subtle body? The
How
way
to purify the subtle body.
subtle body.
Very nice. How to purify, we have discussed. Lord Krishna says that we can purify the subtle body by Krishna consciousness, simple process. It will remove all the impurities from the subtle body. As we can see also the holy name where it says, Cheto Darpana
Marcha.
Marjanam Om
Marjana.
Agni Nirvapanam Shreya Kairava Chandrika Vitaranam Vidya Vadu Jivanam Anandambadi Vardhanam Pratipadam Purna Swadanam Sarvatmana Snapanam Param Vijayate Shri Krishna Sankirtanam. So Cheto Darpana Marjanam. It just removes the contamination. It clears. Cheta Darpana Marjanam. It's like a mirror. It cleanses the mirror of the chit or the heart. Hare Krishna. Thank you. Just to do with the subtle body. Not the gross body, because you're not cleaning the gross body with Harinam and rubbing it. It's not that. It's to do with the subtle body. Isn't it true?
Yes.
With the water we clean our outside body. Even if it says about Bhagavad Gita that if one Malina Mochanam Pumsa Jalasnanam Dine Dine Sakrita Gita Amrita Snanam Sansara Malanashanam. That is to do with which body? Cleaning which? One is cleansing the outside, the gross body with the water. But more important than that is cleaning the
Inner
Mind.
body.
Subtle body.
subtle body. Anything else?
Yeah, liberation. What the liberation means actually? Liberation means to become free from the clutches of subtle body.
Yes, very nice. That's liberation. Not just liberation from the gross bodies. Real liberation is liberation um,
Clutches
from
of
the
subtle
subtle body,
body.
clutches of the subtle body, as Prabhupada writes.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you, Prabhuji. Anything else? So we can, through the swapna, the Lord has given us dreaming, this dreaming thing which we all have experienced. How many of you have not dreamt at all? I don't think there's anyone. Even the children are dreaming. That's how we have, through this experience, what has the Lord given us? The experience of,
Subtle.
Going back to another body and
experience of being in another body. Already we have got experience. And sometimes if there's so much of suffering, these nightmares, people experience that. Isn't it true?
Yes.
So do we want to actually accept another body and suffer?
No.
Or do we want to have a body which will only give us happiness, only bliss? The choice is ours. Hare Krishna. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you, all the devotees. Any questions?
Hare Krishna Prabhu, Dandavat Pranam.
Dandavat Pranam.
Thank you so much for making it so simple to understand actually the gross body, subtle body. We often are illusion to understand the real meaning of subtle body and gross body and how they transmigrate from one to another. It's a very complex science, but you made it so simple to understand. And what is the effect of this subtle body, what it does, and how it works with us like a dream, and what is the after effect with so many examples of, like Bharat Maharaj is a prominent example. King Puranjana is an examples. How the gross body changes, how the subtle body changes from one state to another state by the end of this present life. So thank you so much. And
Thank
the
you.
other things, and you also make us understand how to modify, how to reprogram our subtle body through different program. That program is nothing but the Krishna consciousness. When we get attached to the Krishna, rest of the things get automatically corrected, and the mind becomes a very good friend rather than an enemy. So with that, sorry, we in this conjunction we get a good body in the next life. So that transmigration is completely dependent on us, what we act during the present life. that all being recorded in the subtle body, and eventually that will be carried away in the next life. Thank you so much for giving
Thank you,
this.
Prabhuji. And it is Prabhupada who has made it so simple for us. Hare Krishna. Shri Shri Radha Girdhari Bhagwan ki jai, Shri Shri Gaunitaya Bhagwan ki jai,
Yeah.
Shri Shri Sitaram Lakshman Bhakta Hanuman ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
His Grace Madhav Govind Prabhu ki
Jai.
Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda
Zindagi Jai.
Jai.
Gaur
All
Premanand
those
Vinde Hari Hari Bol.
Hare
Thank you, Prabhu.
Hare
Hare
Krishna. Thank you.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Madhav Govind. Thank you. Thank you, Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.